Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3, Tatarigoroshi. So last time, the gang celebrated their win against the Okonomiyan Titans, and Irie and Keiichi had a nice conversation there about Satoko, right? And then afterwards, they were going to be playing a game yet again, right? So let us continue. Let's see what happens today. Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help clean up after the barbecue, so they didn't show us the game, okay? They just skipped, I suppose. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay. Was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny? What did it even play?
いやいや、あの時のケイちゃんの顔。お前らそれでも人間かよ。みたいな。
ちくしょう。長期の買い占めまでは作戦通りだったのに。あそこでサトコとリカちゃんの裏切りさえなければ。
It was going great while we maintained a united front. But Satoko had been quicker to betray me than her. She was just a tiny bit better than me.
だから北条を信じちゃいけないって警告したんですよ。
Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Satoko's traps pretty early on as well.
さあ、富田君たちの分まで頑張るつもりだったのにな。
And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet.
で、部活メンバーの最下位には何か罰ゲームがあるってことになってるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
Shion remarked as though forcing me to recall something I tried to forget, even for a moment.
そうだったかな。
そういえば前原さん、委員長と罰ゲームを決めるときかなり熱くなってましたけど、一体
Sorry.
さっきお姉にエンジェルモートの制服を調達してくれって頼まれたんですけど。
What, is he gonna wear it? This is the punishment?
それと何か関係あります？できる限り大きめのサイズでって言われたんですけど。
Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun were giving me this complex, indescribable looking mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. He's going insane. All I could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more I laughed, the more I felt like it was actually funny. I lost!
あれあれ？前原さん、どうしちゃったんですか？笑ったり泣いたり吠えたり。
いいんです。あれは嫌がってるふりのジェスチャーなんです。罰ゲームを口実に得られる貴重な経験に興奮を隠せないだけなんです。ねえ。
何が貴重な経験とは。
I held my head in my hands in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a three-letter word. It was sob. Coach gently put his hand on my shoulders. Was he comforting me?
前原さん、苦境を受け入れなければならない時はですね、厳しい指導を受けているメイドであると想像するんです。ほら、絶望的なシチュエーションがなんだか楽しそうになってきませんか？いいじゃないですか。
Red in the face and indulging in his imagination, still holding my shoulders, Coach said, "Oh, master," and started twirling around like a ballerina. I had to wonder what kind of word associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. The first thing that comes into mind when I'm thinking of discipline certainly isn't maids.
富田君、岡村君、君たちの監督は実に面白いな。こんなのでよく監督が務まるな。
Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun engaged or exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. Then they added that he was really a nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a person like that. The coach's questionable revolutions slowed to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast.
ではお片付けを続けましょう。前原さんは力持ちみたいですからね。プレートを水場に持って行って洗っていただけますか？
了解です。
I hoisted a dirty barbecue plates, each with a slimy oil clinging to it, and looked for the wash basins. These are heavy. Where are the wash basins? Over there? Figuring I should make it there before my arms gave out, I headed towards it at a trot. A lot of adults who had been helping out were using the wash basin, so I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall too, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was a faucet there. I initially thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as this, but it would probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet to open up back there. I turned the faucet and the water, much nicer looking than it gushed forward. I put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand to try and rub it clean. It didn't go very well.
Hi.
Okay, Shion is here.
スポンジとクレンザー。そんなの水だけで洗ったって無理です。
It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge and a container filled with cleaner to me.
お、サンキュー。
そんなの洗い場に置いて大人たちに任せちゃえばいいのに。つくづくケイちゃんっていい人です。
I got the feeling that it wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile.
シオンがひなみ沢ファイターズのマネージャーだったなんて驚いたぜ。そういうのはめんどくさがってやらないやつだと思ってた。
ええ、めんどくさいですよ。ですから今は完全に幽霊ですけどね。
監督、帰ってきてほしいって言ってたじゃないか。たまには帰ってきてやれよ。
まあ気が向いたら。
She made it sound like the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Whoops. I couldn't keep washing dishes while preoccupied with conversation, so I decided to take my task seriously. Shion neither offered to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet.
そうそう、聞きましたよ。昨日の試合、ケイちゃんが大活躍したそうじゃないですか。
褒めるなら俺よりもホームランを決めたサトコの方だろう。あいつ運動神経良かったんだな。俺驚いたよ。
サトシ君とは大違いです。きっと運動神経は妹に全部取られちゃったに違いないですね。
Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence.
サトシ君？
北条聡子の兄です。北条聡君。あ、そっか。ケイちゃんって今年引っ越してきたんでしたっけ？なら会ったことありませんね。
I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Yeah, though. She didn't go to, the same school with them, right?
会ったことはないけど、少しは知ってるよ。確か、両親が亡くなった後、転校したんだよな。
I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used slightly more vague words that everyone else did.
転校？誰がそんなこと言ったんですか？
I hadn't realized that she and Stone had changed slightly. Oh, hell no. Oh
いや、
no.
誰って？
She's gonna kill Keiichi.
誰だっけかな？誰かに聞いたんだよ。転校したって。
その誰かって誰ですか？誰かに聞いたから言ってるんですよね、転校って。
誰に聞いたかなんてよく覚えてないよ。
I mean, it was eerie, right?
転校だって言うならそれでいいだろ。別に問題があるわけじゃないし。
ありますよ。転校届が出されたわけですか？学校とかに。それを誰かが見た？それとも聞いた？
Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on this Shion was, but also how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look.
シオン、なんだよお前、目がマジだぞ。
With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath, pretending to fix her hair, and went back to her composed expression from before.
すみません。
Okay.
でもケイちゃん、よく知りもしないでサトシ君のこと転校とか言わないでください。本当にお願いしますね。
I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have, so I guess her and Satoshi had, what do you call this? More of a relationship. But I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now, sorry.
なんとなく転校と聞かされて、そうだと信じてたんだよ。
No, what I mean is, her and, Satoshi and Shion, yeah, most likely spend time together. That's why she's kind of like this, right?
じゃあ実際は違うのか？
It was, of course, preceded by his parents. He had left his sister and run away. But I wanted to try and avoid the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice.
すみません。別にケイちゃんを責めてるわけじゃないんです。ちょっと言葉がきつすぎましたね。謝ります。
別に気にしてないよ。
That was a fib. I was actually a little scared even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave.
おいシオン。
じゃあ頑張ってください。ケイちゃんのプレートで最後みたいですよ。洗い物。
Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation were we that it got pretty late. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I'd finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I'd realized it, and as the heat that had struck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. Higurashi, when they cry. But yeah, Shion kinda
では皆さん集合です。
kinda cray there. Almost, you saw how different the sky was when she was kinda angry there, right? And then later she returned to normal. Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks. And with that, another fun day drew to a close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Sadako and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things.
人を裏切るやつはいつか自分も裏切られる。いい見本だな。
そんなことケイチさんに言われたくありませんわ。レナは誰の口車にも乗らなかったからね。2位になれたんだよ。レナはなかなか嘘に引っかからないのです。勘がいいのですよ。
I'm surprised. She seems like she would fall for the first line to come her way.
それを言ったらケイちゃんでしょ。他人を食い物にしてやろうと欲張って真っ先に自分が食い物に。友達を紹介すれば紹介するほど高収入なんてバカな商法に引っかかるんじゃないよ。
へいへい。努力しますよ。とほほほ。
Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get in the serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. It reminded me of how we were all such great friends.
それよりもケイチさんの罰ゲームが楽しみでございますわね。でも本当に実現できますの？店長さんもそんなの嫌だって言うと思いましたよ。どうだろう。ケイチくんすっごく可愛くなるかも。なるかも。見てみたいかも。僕もとても楽しみなのですよ。転ばせてフキフキをさせますです。
ああ、それはいいね。
なぜここ一番で俺は勝てないんだ。今日は絶対に勝ちたい。この罰ゲームは誰かにやらせてみたいと思うといつも負ける。足りないのか。勝利への信念が足りないのか。うわ
敗者の嘆きは蜜の味ですわね。かわいそうかわいそうなのです。ケイチくんもこうやって強くなっていくんだね。去年のみーちゃんを見てるみたい。
Mi-chan last year. What did she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president Mion was once like that.
余計なことは言わなくていいの。
Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Satoko's sleeve.
さて、僕たちはそろそろ行かないといけないのです。あ、お夕飯のお買い物に行かないといけませんわね。
I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home.
じゃあまた明日。学校で会おうね。
Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
じゃあ行こう。
We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set on the afternoon, the heat began to disappear as though it were never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today.
そういえばまだ6月なんだよね。今年は梅雨とか全然ないでいきなり夏みたいな感じだね。
Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, of Hydra Jing. How do you say that? Hydra Jingias? In snails. I haven't seen a real rainy season since transferring here.
週間予報によると週明けあたりからはもうちょっと梅雨らしい天気になるらしいよ。大雨注意とか言ってたから綿流しにぶつからなきゃいいんだけど。
そうなんだ。やっぱり梅雨は梅雨らしい方がいいよね。レナは梅雨の長雨って結構好きだよ。
長雨なんて気がめいるだけだって。ねえケイちゃん。
ああ。
I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion.
サトコに兄貴っていたよな。サトシって名前だっけ？
No, they become serious as well. Look at their faces. As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Rena and Neon both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's when they made me think. But I already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested.
サトシってどうしたんだっけ？引っ越したんだっけ？
That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance. Mian turned around and looked to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us, then quietly softly spoke.
あれ言わなかったかな？転校しちゃったんだよ。
And when I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me.
転校って誰がそんなことを言ったんだよ。
I had only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark.
本当に転校したなら転校届とかが学校に提出されるはずだろ。でもそんなの実際には出てないんじゃないのか？
Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Sadako's older brother ran away out of consideration for her.
別に二人を責めてるわけじゃないんだぜ。ただサトシはどうしたのかなって聞いてみてるだけのつもりで。
I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I had lashed out of them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun, but now, why did I go and say something that made all of that meaningless? I couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. Okay, that's enough, so let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up.
別に隠そうとか騙そうとかそういうつもりじゃないのを分かってほしいんだけど。
Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuse of a child who'd been presented with evidence of her own mischief.
サトシは転校したわけじゃないんだよ。
Oh hell no, here comes creepy music. Mion said, resigning herself. But I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize. But right before that...
帰ってこないの？
Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Rena was extremely clear and resolute.
帰ってこないって。
ある日から家に帰ってこないの。
He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally he would say that he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought he'd only say it like Rena did if he was capable of coming back. You wouldn't say it like that when talking about someone who ran away from home.
帰ってこないってどういう意味だよ。じゃあサトシはどこへ行ったんだよ。
知らない。
Rena's word of choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold that I couldn't muster a response right away.
だからさ、ある日を境にサトシは家に帰ってこなかった。
Mion noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Rena had said.
まあ村中みんなで探したし、
警察も方々を探してくれたよ。それで家出じゃないかって話になってさ。
家出じゃないかって話になって。
When running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of letter apologizing to Satoko. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home.
警察の人が調べたらさ、サトシってバイトとかでコツコツとお金を貯めててさ、貯金とかしてたんだけど、それをいなくなった日に全部下ろしてたのが分かったんだよ。
Okay.
で、名古屋駅だかでサトシによく似た人が目撃されたとかで。
He withdrew all of his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough for me, or to me. But before I could say anything,
私はそんなの嘘だと思う。サトシ君は家出なんかじゃない。
ちょっと待てよ。転校したわけでもなく、引っ越したわけでもなく、それで家出したわけでもないなら、一体サトシはどうして。
やめなよレナ。
Mion whispered to her. Rena, however, continued without interruption. And then she said this.
だってこれはお社様のたたりだもの。
Okay, so I guess we're learning this from them now, compared to the other two chapters, right? Now we got it from Tomitake and Takano, and now it's from Rena and Mion.
たたり。
It took some time before I understood what Rena meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little.
サトシ君は消える前に私に教えてくれた。
Jesus, look, what is happening now? Her eyes.
誰かに見張られている。後をつけられている。家の中にまでついてくる。寝るとき枕元に立って見下ろしてるって教えてくれた。
やめなよレナ。
それは間違いなくお社様のたたりの前兆。きっとサトシ君は心のどこかでひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうという気持ちがあったんだと思う。それをお社様は許さなかった。
だからやめなって。
お社様はひなみ沢の守り神様。ひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうとする人を絶対に許さない。私はそれを謝った。でもサトシ君はきっと謝らなかった。だから
Oh my god.
お社様のたたりに会ってしまったに違いないの。
お社様のたたりだって。
I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's curse.
警察が家出だって決めつけたって信じない。私は絶対に信じない。そんなのたたりだと認めたくない村の偉い人たちが決めただけの嘘っぱち。お社様のたたりは信じようと信じまいと確かに。
Wait, what happened? Mion struck Rena in the head. Okay. And not in a joking way either.
いい加減にしろって言ってるでしょ。
Oh, she's actually angry.
恩和の私でも島には怒るよ。
Oh my god. Pushing her to her limits? Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at the moment. For a few moments after being hit, Rena looked astonished. Perhaps the voice of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind because after a little while, she regained her original calm expression. We arrived at the place where we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always put up with me on here, leaving just Rena and me.
あのさ、ケイちゃん。前に漫画化すって約束したじゃない？よかったら寄ってく？
Yes. Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone. Oh, then Rena can go on her way, right?
あ、そうなんだ。じゃあ、レナは先に帰ってるね。
Maybe she realized it, maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Rena said she'd go home before us.
じゃあね、レナ。また明日。うん。また明日ね。ケイチくんもあまりお邪魔しすぎないようにね。もう夕方だから。
ちょっと本を借りに寄るだけだよ。じゃあな。
Considering the fun day we had, it was very insipid, lonely parting.
さっきの、あまり気にしないでね。
After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Rena.
いや、別に。俺の方が悪かったと思う。
サトシの話は、別に隠してたわけじゃないんだよ。あまり触れない方がいい話だからさ。
At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interactions with Rena, I understood so well it hurt that I shouldn't ever talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in it at all. But that's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Idiot. Stop this Keiichi Maibara. By the time I tried to warn myself, I had accidentally spoken already.
もう二度と聞かないからさ。正直なところを教えてくれないか。一体、サトシに何があったんだ？家でなんだろう？
For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly.
お社様のたたりの話は聞いたことある？
ほんの少しくらいなら。
I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it though. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worship at the shrine we had the barbecue at today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people worked on site died or something and people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's how it was.
サトシの死んだ親ってのがさ、ダムの誘致派でね。
Proponents? What's proponents?
え？ひなみ沢の人って村中でダムに反対してたんじゃないのか？
Wasn't everyone in the village all against it? So proponents, maybe they were okay with the dam project?
村人なのにダムの賛成派もいたのか？
The dam project would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I'd heard the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe that there were villagers who were supporting it. Yeah, though, like, dude, if you're living in a village like this and it's gonna get flooded, like 99% would be fighting for it, right?
まあ、いろいろと事情もあってね。ダム計画に反対する人ばかりでもなかったんだけどさ。で、その親ってのが誘致派のリーダー格だったんだよ。
So they were the leaders.
誘致派のリーダー格。つまり、サトコとサトシの親がってことだよな。
I mean, I guess yeah, they did mention that back then, right? But not in detail, I suppose, unlike right now.
うん。国はダム工事に伴って多額の保証金を用意してたからね。そのお金が欲しくて、ダム計画に賛成してた人たちも結構いたんだよ。
Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was in general not very affluent. and not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so given the situation. It just happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice.
それで運悪くその両親がさ、お社様を祀るお祭りの日に事故死しちゃったんだよね。それでお社様のたたりにあったんじゃないかってことになっちゃったわけ。
I thought back to what the coach told me today. They went to a nature park on a family outing and fell off a cliff.
で、サトシが家出したのまでお社様のたたりってことにされちまったわけか。
まあ、うん。そんな感じ。
It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details.
もう説明するまでもないと思うけどさ、サトコにとっては、両親の事故もサトシの家出も、そしてお社様のたたりなんて話も、愉快な話じゃないのはわかるでしょ。
I mean, of course, it's not a very happy story. Yes. Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod silently.
だからさ、私たちはサトコの家族の話には触れないことにしてる。サトシのことは、仮に聞かれても、転校したってごまかすことにしてる。その辺の事情を、汲み取ってもらえるよね。
They wanted to protect Satoko's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with.
ああ、わかるよ。俺も軽はずみなことを聞いたと後悔してる。
When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. With that understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already too late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance.
じゃあな、ミオン。今日は悪かったな。また明日な。
じゃあね。
We waved to each other. Then suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me.
ケイちゃん、
Okay?
あとさ、
Calm down, Mion. Don't scare us.
サトコにだけじゃなく、レナの前でも、サトシの話は慎んでくれるかな。
Rena as well.
え？
さっきので分かったと思うけどさ、レナってどういうわけかお社様のたたりの話だけは笑い事で済まないんだよ。
I guess.
転校してきた時から。
I guess for Rena, it's not about Satoshi, it's about Oyashiro-sama's curse, and then for Shion, it's more on about Satoshi, right? Yeah. Yeah, by judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly not a laughing matter. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us. But if Mion hadn't been here, what might have happened?
どうしてレナはあんなにマジになるんだろうな。
Not only Rena, but Shion too.
知らない。レナはね、あ、これ内緒だよ。言ったら絶好だよ。
Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further.
言わないよ。で、レナが何だってんだよ。
お社様のたたりに会ったことあるんだって。
え？
私は悪いけど被害妄想過剰な何かの思い込みじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。でも本人はそう言ってるし、そう信じてる。茶化すとかなり怒る。レナは普段はチャラけてるけど、怒るとかなり怖い。
Yeah, she really is though. Like last chapter, she didn't become any scary, right? Or not scary last chapter, and it was very nice seeing her like that.
分かってるよ。
But yeah, for this one, we already see her very serious.
レナの前でも言うなってことだろ。サトシの話。
できればこの話題にも二度と触れるべきじゃないと思うね。レナのためにもサトコのためにもさ。
For everyone else's too. And if I must say, for your own sake too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mian made sure I knew that.
そうだな。うん。わかったよ。
ありがとう。
Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. Bye. I watched her go a little dazed and then started walking myself. Sadako's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, and none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me, and I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday, and today we had a blast at the barbecue party too. It was a lot of fun, but then I went and almost nullified all those fun times. I would have had to be more careful starting tomorrow. I would put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell, I'm gonna let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. But the more I thought that I'd be more careful starting tomorrow, the more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I had already put an end to those enjoyable days with what I just done. Okay, hey, wait. Calm down, Akechi Maibara. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. It doesn't make any sense to think my life will totally be different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today.
変だぞ俺。さっきのみんなとのやりとり、ちょっと気にしすぎだぜ。
I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long and full of terror. Okay, finished. But yeah, it was kind of a turning point this time. I didn't expect a turning point. I thought we were gonna have like Tatarigoroshi again, and then there we're gonna see the turning point, right? But it happened here. Okay, let's check the tips. Do the slacking manager first. Shion.
シオンさんも少しは手伝ってください。
女の子に重いものを運ばせようって言うんですか？そんなだからいい年になっても相手が見つからないんですよ、監督は。
ですね。そういうのを曰くこう言います。余計なお世話です。
He was loading the station wagon with the heaps of equipment we'd use for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get underway.
さて、シオンさんはどうしますか？あなた、ここまでは何で来ました？自転車でしたら、積んで送って差し上げますよ。
バイクだからいいです。お心遣いだけで嬉しいってことにしときます。
今日は来てくれて嬉しかったですよ。やはりマネージャーさんがいないとパッとしませんからね。
まだ私マネージャーなんですか？1年も丸々サボってんだから、こんな無能マネージャーいい加減に解雇するべきだと思いますよ。
シオンさんが辞めたいって自分で言えたらいつでも解雇してあげますよ。
ずるいな。 早く解放してくださいよね。試合があるたびに来ないかと電話がかかってくるの、もううざくてかなわないんですから。
しおんちゃんももっともっと素直になれば、とってもキュートで可愛い女の子なのに。お父さんは悲しいですよ。一体どこでねじ曲がってこんなにひねくれてしまったんだか。ああ、お父さんの愛の抱擁で力強く包み込めば目が覚めますか。でしたら遠慮なく。ほーら。
Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding.
何も変わってない。監督が変な人で、みんなのにぎわいも何も変わってないのに。
サトシ君だけいないとおっしゃりたいのですか。帰ってきますよ、きっと。待っている人がいるんですから。
勝手なこと言っててください。
彼も罪作りな人ですよね。こんな可愛い彼女を置き去りにしてどこへ行ってしまったんだか。
彼女。Okay.
彼女？誰がもう、いつまで笑ってるんですか？監督
Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while.
ではまたお会いしましょうね。試合にもたまには応援に来てくださいよ。
まあ、気が向いたら。私、マネージャーなんか全然もうやる気ないんですから。
いいんですよ。あなたが嫌ならいつでもクビにしてあげますよ。嫌がるのを無理やりってのは私の性分ではありませんからね。
はいはい。すみませんね。私の負けです。気が向いたらまた応援に来ますので、今日は堪忍してください。
おっと、もうこんな時間。機材返す約束の時間が。先方をもうだいぶ待たせてますね。では今日はこの辺で。また次の試合でお会いしましょう。
ええ、気が向いたらね。さよなら、監督。
Next, copy of the preliminary autopsy. Ooh. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. Entire body bound in restraints. Traces left behind from when the body seemed to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appeared to have been bound especially tight. Highly likely the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Oh my god. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to suggest that there was at least one more other than the one who severed these body parts, holding down the victim's head. I guess this is the body we got in the beginning. Yeah, probably. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them most likely being scissors or shears. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of each finger on each hand for a total of 30. That is, these fingers were nailed to a wooden plank 20 square centimeters large. Extremely likely these planks are part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely that the table was originally designed for just such a purpose. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in medical methodology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of this process. Body disposed. Number 5. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the OG River's third drain. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible that they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. To Uishi-san, here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the Uiji River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having possible relation to the S group. S group? What are your thoughts, Uishi-san? What is an S group? East Round Tree.
出ましたね、ロン。チュンドラさん、マンガンです。
Is this Mahjong?
なんすかそれ。なんでドラが3つも入んすか。
バカモンが大石がテンパイしとんの分かっててカンドラ増やしよってからに自業自得じゃぞ。
チュンさらしたらドラを上乗せするぐらいしかやることないじゃないですか。夜会さらしたらドラそばは切っちゃダメですよ。
Oishi grinned meaningfully as his body's swearing began breaking down on the walls and reforming them.
時に大石さんどうですか。割れましたか。なんじゃい。ああ、例のドブ川惨殺死体の話かの。何か手がかりはあったのか。
ねえ、まあ裏はそっちで取ってくださいよ。
さすが。何者です仏。
間宮里奈、本名は律子。
シボネフラワーロードにあるブルーマーメイドってキャバクラに勤めてたみたいっす。
やれやれ、そらやばい店じゃな。確か園崎家の若頭の店じゃろ。園崎。おっと S 号関連か。難航しそうな山だな。
噂じゃあ仏さん、園崎の上納金に手をつけちゃったらしいっす。
女が上納金に手を出したか。裏に男がいそうじゃのう。女の単独犯なんてそうそうないぞい。
どうせもう死んでますよ。死体がまだ出ないだけで。
そうそう、おいさん。女の同居人、生きてるみたいですよ。
生きてる？じゃあこれから死ぬんでしょうね。害虫が害虫を駆除してくれるんだから、本当に素敵な自浄機能だと思いますよ。
その紐なんですがね。北条鉄平なんですよ。
Wait, what? Hojo? Teppei Hojo? Who's this?
北条？誰だい。
北条鉄平。去年ひなみ沢で起こった主婦撲殺事件の仏のご主人ですよ。
The husband of the housewife was beaten to death last year in Hinamizawa. Ooh.
事件の後姿を消したって聞いてましたけど。
Wait, what? Okay, okay. No, say okay.
そうか。その女のところに転がり込んでたか。
ますますに園崎の匂いがプンプンだの。
彼氏は今どこに？
女のアパートに同居してたんすがね。女が自分を捨てたと思ったみたいで、店やたまりのあちこちを探し回ってるらしいっす。
Okay. Hojo Teppei. So, yeah, related to Satoko for sure, right? But, yes. So, this S group, I think it's Sonozaki, right? I just realized when one of them said Sonozaki. So Sonozaki group was probably right. I was like Satoshi group, the Satoko group. And then yeah, someone mentioned Sonozaki. Yeah, Sonozaki group. There's no one else, right? There's no one else. Sonozaki group. But yeah, it's nice that it's kind of different. This turning point, right? Because the first two chapters, it was the Killjoys, Takano, and Tobitake, right? Saying about this one, this Oyashiro-sama curse, etc., etc. But now it's nice that it was Rena and Mion, and this is kind of early, I suppose, right? Rena becoming very angry. I mean, not serious, scary serious. Like in the last chapter, we saw her serious from time to time, but that was the reliable, serious Rena, right? But this one, it's different. It was a scary, serious Rena, man. Like, yeah, she was. I think she's gonna go maybe a little bit crazy this chapter as well, right? Last chapter, I liked her last chapter. It was the best. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like her. I'm saying last chapter 2, her being reliable, a really, really reliable friend, right? Was really, really good. Yeah, I really liked her character a lot on that part. That reliable Rena mode. And now I suppose in this one, we got Shion going crazy when talking about Satoshi. And then Rena when talking about Oyashiro-sama, right? So yeah, I guess let's see what happens next episode, right? And also this Teppei Hojo guy, right? Let's see, how is he gonna relate to this story? So we're gonna continue this and do more of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3, Tatarigoroshi in the next one. So I'll just see you then. Bye bye.